Episode 3, Movie Buff, Jhon Wick, Chapter 2. Okay, this movie is by far uh, one of the greatest shoot 'em ups I've ever seen. Okay, the tactical precision and stuff. Keanu took like I don't know how many months of actual Navy SEAL training with them and the real badasses. I mean, there's a video on YouTube, you can check it out. I mean, he knows his shit with not just one or two guns, a variety of guns, and it shows in the movie. I mean, it looks like he knows exactly what he's doing because he does. The movie starts out, Jhon Wick retired after, his whole, revenge vendetta, and gets a knock on the door basically. And it's this guy that's, this suave Italian, guy, and he's like, you owe me a debt basically. And he's like, I'm not the one, man. I'm not the one. I'm out. I'm done with this life. Just leave me alone. Well, it's a blood oath, and it's like in this family of assassins, that they have. This blood oath is binding. I mean, you don't break it. You don't break it. It's just one of those things where he has no choice. He still says no. He says, I'm not gonna do it. I'm sorry. I can't help you. Basically, what this guy's asking is, he's like this part of this big mafioso family called the High Table, like in Rome. And his dad dies, and he gives his position to his sister instead of the son. Well, the son is butthurt and wants to off the sister, but he can't do it himself. So he hires Jhon Wick because it's a pretty much near impossible task. I mean, she's protected like there's no tomorrow. Um, but he still says, I'm not your guy. You got to find somebody else. Sorry for you. Well, this guy just proceeds to go out and, pop his trunk and get a fucking grenade launcher and just start going to town on John's house. Literally burns it down. I mean, I thought, the movie's over. John's dead. No, he survives. The dog survives. The dog survives this time. There's a new dog, beautiful pit bull, I think, and he goes and he's licking his face and everything, and so it's all good. No doggy deaths this movie, but so now John is pissed, and when you piss Jhon Wick off, you're gonna have a bad day. He goes and basically kind of seeks out all his underground help that he's acquired over his life in the assassin game and stuff, and he has like these secret warehouses that he goes in and basically says, I'm here to do, he says a secret code or gives them a secret number, and they open this door passageway, and he's got safes with guns and the gold coins that was in the first movie that you kind of pay these people with. He goes and gets tailored with this basically like Batman armor suit. You can just, point blank, pow, pow, pow. It's not gonna kill you. It's not gonna get through the suit. It hurts like a son of a bitch, but it doesn't get through the suit, which is pretty awesome. And he goes and gets a wide variety of all kind of guns, and they kind of do a little montage of him getting his suit and his guns and getting ready for everything. And it was cool. He's going to Rome. He's headed to Rome because he's basically got to do this now. Before he does all this, he goes and talks to the guy that was in the first movie, kind of like the godfather of the Continental Hotel, and he's basically like, you've got no choice. It's a blood oath. You got to do it. So he gets him, and he's basically gonna go do it. He's gonna go kill this girl and try to get his freedom back. And it's like I said, it's like a near impossible task or whatever. So they need the boogeyman or whatever. And so he goes and he's in Rome, and he's like basically gets the catacombs of all the city of where she's gonna be in. He goes to these underground tunnels, and that's how he's gonna get her. And of course, Jhon Wick stuff ensues. I mean, just headshot. I mean, just the craziest action gunplay ever. And he gets there, and the girl is, she's like getting in the tub or whatever, and he's like, you know, what's going on? And she basically says, you know, I've lived life on my terms. I'm gonna die on my terms. So I mean, she slits her wrist. She doesn't let him kill her, and Jhon, you know, doesn't kill her. He waits until she passes away and then puts a bullet in her head just to make it look like he did. But through all this, they are basically gonna double cross him. They don't want no, you know, loose ends or whatever is kind of what he said. And Ruby Rose, she's like, this is the third movie I've seen her in this year. I mean, the girl's everywhere, but she's one of the ones that basically is the guy that hired him, you know, right hand women or whatever. And she can't talk, so she does all this sign language. I'm gonna get you and all this shit. So she's after his ass, and that, of course, the whole team kind of makes it look like, oh, we're avenging my sister's death now. Jhon Wick's, you know, #1 target. But Jhon wipes them all out. I mean, pretty much just takes them all out. And Common is playing one of the assassins that was the sister's, basically, like his ward. That was his ward. That was like his role model or mentor or whatever. So he's hella pissed. He wants revenge on Jhon now. And so they get into it or whatever, and of course they break into the Continental, and you can't fight in the Continental. It's part of the rule. No killing on the Continental, and he has to remind them of the rules, and they go have a drink, and it's kind of like a funny little moment between the two of them or whatever. And basically Common's like, well, when I kill you, I'm going to make it quick as a professional courtesy, you know, and Jhon Wick's like, well, I'll try to do the same, you know. And then, of course, you've got all the assassins that are basically trying to kill Jhon Wick in the Continental, but they can't do anything while he's there. So the guy that, you know, is now at the head of the table, he basically, like I said, wants to make Jhon look like he just killed the sister, like he had nothing to do with it. Now he's avenging his sister. So he puts a hit out on Jhon for like $7 million. And, you know, everybody, I mean, people are blowing up in the entire, you know, New York City area, you know, all the assassins in the area, which, I mean, apparently everyone's just a hidden assassin now, you know, but like your ice cream man, your bum on the street, I mean, they're all assassins, all undercover assassins. And they all are coming after Jhon Wick. And once he knows, you know, he's got to basically fight through everyone, all the assassins ever, and it's crazy. I mean, he kills like 5 guys with a pencil. It's insanity. They're brutal kills too. Some of these are brutal kills. Definitely worth the shock value and the watch. But basically, I mean, he gets through them all, and now he's headed for Santiago. You know, the guy that's, you know, trying to frame him or whatever, kind of double crossed him, and he goes and he, you know, basically chases him down. They're in this like house of mirrors in this museum or whatever, and he kills Ruby Rose and her whole team, and then all Santiago's guys. I mean, he just smokes them, you know, Jhon style, pa 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 pa, just, you know, through the face, everything. Just, like I said, insane gunplay. And basically Santiago runs to the Continental, you know, because he's like, you know, knows that nothing can happen there. And Jhon Wick goes there and basically is like, well, you thought nothing could happen here, but sorry for you. And I won't ruin the movie, but, you know, basically Jhon Wick, it gets excommunicated toward the end of the movie, and everybody that he could pretty much once count on for help, he can't anymore. He's basically lone wolf, and a contract goes out on his head for the entire world. So, I mean, that's how the movie ends. I mean, what's he going to do? Who's he going to go? You know, how in the hell is he going to get out of this situation, you know? But still got his dog at the end of the movie, so, I mean, that was a plus. But it was a good movie. Saw it at the Warren again. Awesome theater. Love it. Saw it in the screening room, so a little bit of a cheaper version of the director suites. They were all sold out by the time we got the tickets and stuff. Went with a couple buddies. It was a good time. We saw The Late Show again just because, I mean, it was just one of the last minute deals. And yeah, I'll probably give it a probably give it either, I would say, a 7.5 or an 8. The story was good. You know, you have your monotone, Keanu Reeves, but he does awesome in this type of movie when he's like that. He's like, you wanted me back, I'm back. Or yeah, it's Keanu-isms or whatever. He's all got that, right down pat. But it was entertaining. Like I said, there was a slight bit of a point where I was kind of nodding in and out when he was doing the whole montage, and it was between the scenes of the extreme gunplay. But it was late, and I just that's probably what it was. It wasn't because the movie was boring, but it did kind of lull on there for a little bit, but it picked right back up. I mean that shotgun or an M4 or Glock, pow pow pow, that's gonna wake you up, and it did, and it was cool, man. I liked the movie, and I suggest you guys see it if you like Jhon Wick or you like gunplay. This is been Movie Buff episode 3.